Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Kenney brings up a great thing that's going on right now. Well, not a great thing. It's a big story. No cell phone service. Have you seen that one? AT&T, Verizon, and I forget who else. They're all down, like in several major parts of the country. Chicago, LA, New York, I guess Tennessee. It's a big deal. All of it's like out cold. It's remarkable. Major outages across the United States. We should probably get to that because I know they talked about it on the Today Show. As God, look at Savannah. She's just lovely. She looks like she should be. I think she's going denim there. Is that like a denim deal? Or are those like mom pants on backwards? She's one of my favorites. Anyway, here you go. AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers hit by widespread cellular outages here in the U.S.
The top, and a lot of Americans are feeling it right now. If you've had some trouble using your cell phone this morning, it's not just you. You're not alone.
Yeah, major carriers have been experiencing widespread outages all across the country, though AT&T is the most affected overnight. Users are on social media, and they're saying their cell service was down.
What are we going to do?
They were unable to make or...
I cannot... Oh, my God. Jesus. I'll save my comments for the end.
Receive calls. Many are saying, though, texts appear to be working just fine. We're going to try to sort all this out with NBC's Brian Chung. Hey, Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Some pretty alarming issues here nationwide when it comes to the cell phone outages. So it's happening at three major carriers. It's happening at Verizon, AT&T, and also T-Mobile. AT&T appears to be the most affected with about 30,000 outages that went down and then spiked back up alarmingly. We've also seen issues around 1,000 in number at Verizon and T-Mobile. And what seems like a good sign, AT&T outages, they did dip. But again, we're going to see whether or not after they've spiked again, can they really resolve those issues? Now, some of the most affected areas so far, they include San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, Atlanta. So it's happening in many pockets across the country. And there have been alarming reports.
They need to put Kenney's house on there.
From the San Francisco Fire Department that they can't get 911 calls. So this is really impacting some emergency services.
In San Francisco, they can't get the call that there's 8,000 homeless people on someone's front lawn. My God.
We don't know what the reason is for the outage. The San Francisco Fire Department is saying in some cases you should try to use a landline, and we reach out to all of the companies for comment.
Yeah, if I had to make a 911 call with a landline, I would have to, I think I'd be okay, kind of. I'd have to go find an actual telephone, like the base with the cordless ones. So if the NFK falls down the stairs, I have to go find the base, plug it in, take the cordless, charge it, put it on the cradle, and say, hey, in about half hour, I will call the paramedics.
Have not heard back since.
I mean, what's interesting is that it's more than one carrier. So, I mean, there's a range of possibilities, I suppose, and we just don't know yet.
Let's speculate. Range of carriers out. Russia blew up one of our satellites. Or maybe something even more sinister. Well, that's probably the most sinister.
What happened here?
Right. Like, is it something that could be hacking related? Is it something that could be weather related, satellite related? We don't know at the moment. We're trying to get more information, but we have not heard back yet.
But it's affecting big cities right now. That's where you're getting the most reports from.
Yeah.
Major cities.
Yes, Hoda, I said that. I had a map.
Totally. I mean, even this morning, we've heard of some of our own colleagues having issues reaching some of us by cell phone. But again, this is happening. It's still happening. We're trying to see how.
Interesting also that it's nationwide. There's not one region affected.
Right.
Yeah.
And nothing from the carriers. You said they haven't made any comment as to what's going on.
They have not, no. But again, we've been hearing of issues in South Carolina, in New York City as well. So again, it seemed like AT&T was able to make the number go down, but then it spiked back up again. So again, it's just, we're not out of the woods yet.
All right, stay on it, Brian.
Wow, what the hell are we gonna do? That would wreck me. You know, we should start a movement, though. We should start a movement, though, where for like one day, you put down the phone. That, I think, would be so difficult for me. I am so tied to that thing. Holy cow. I mean, first of all, it's a lifesaver. It keeps me patient. When I'm in line at the pharmacy or whatever, picking up my pile of medication. The other day I went there, and they take an odd time for lunch. And I didn't know that. Like 1:30 to 2 p.m., they shut the doors. It's like it's closed. And I got there at 1:45. This is over at Walmart. I go, well, I'm going to go see some of the freaks. I'll walk around for a little bit. And I did. You know, and then I get in line finally, and I'm just it's cool. People are like, oh, we'll be right with you. It's like, take your time. Take your time. No big deal. But to actually put that thing down, I don't, that would be a challenge. First of all, everybody, I contact people with the thing. Aram says, this looks like Eric Zaitunian talking. What are you talking about? Are you suggesting that I'm being too nice? I just said I walked through the Walmart and see the freaks. Is that something that Eric Zaitunian would say, Aram? I don't know what you're getting at. Perhaps you need to explain yourself. I tried to get a hold of you the other day, and you completely shut me down. It's been way too long since we heard your dulcet tones, Aram. Oh, you forwarded me. What? Oh, my God. How could you possibly do that? It's like 7 o'clock in the morning there. He's talking about speaking with my hands? Yeah, I don't know. Now, EZ is always like, hello, hi, Eric Zaitunian. Hello there. Oh, my God. Yes. That's not true at all. Today is a Big Fraud Thursday. And let me tell you, God, I need to go over my notes, first of all, for the Who Are These Free Beer show that will take place today. So many clips. But I don't know if I have a giant segment to park on. What can I promote? All right. I have a terrific segment that they did where it absolutely, Greg tips the hand as to that it's a fake segment. A lot of times he'll say, all right, we got a text in and it's from this person who says this. And then it's from an online source like Reddit, or they wrote it themselves. I'm 100% convinced of this. And the reason why I say it here, the example that I have is he wanted to do a phone topic or a text-in topic called things that are true, things that about you that are true that no one believes, or something like that. And at one point, he says, all right, in the next segment, we're going to do things about you that are that no one believes that are true. We got a lot of them have been pouring in already. Well, the reason that tipped off that this was not true, and the reason why is because he hadn't mentioned it once prior. I listened to every second of that show up to that point, pulling clips, and at no point did he say, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need you to contribute with this. Things about you that are true that no one believes. The first time he said it, he followed it up with, oh my God, we've gotten so many that have poured in. Well, that's impossible because you hadn't said it yet. It's a complete bullshit story. Then they come back from commercial and he does the bit and they're all like super lengthy, way involved, like something that no one would sit there and write a 15-paragraph text to someone about their thing that no one believes that is actually true. And it's, oh, yeah, hey, we got this one. It's such bullshit. Ben, he's here in the chat. He writes, be ready for their amazing game called But Wait, There's More. Amanda, Johnny S. Amanda on the spot with breaking news. Thank you. She writes, oh shit, breaking news. My mom said they shut down her system for hospital billing because there is a cyber attack in Oklahoma. So we might be getting it as it happens. You know, you're deep embedded in the news cycle when Amanda's mom is breaking news. If you turn to Amanda and her mom gives us breaking news, we have turned the corner.
Breaking news! And Lost calls the snow day!
Amanda says she works for Metro Health, dumbass. Well, I don't know why you got to call me a dumbass. I'm actually expressing my appreciation for the breaking news. You're probably right. She's probably right. You know? I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you. I'm not even giving you shit on that. That's probably what happened. You'll know. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm giving you shit, but I'm not really. Because that's probably what there probably is some type of cyber attack. You know? Amanda says I sense some sarcasm. I know, but I'm telling you it's not. I swear on a stack of King James Bibles that today I am not being sarcastic about that. I actually do believe you. Okay? If I was making fun of you, I would use your parody voice. I would do that deal, but I'm not doing that. Today's a big day for EZ. I am having a big Zoom conference with all of these bigwigs from the radio station and engineering staffs to get EZ up and running for the big radio show that is coming. We are one day closer to EZ being back on the radio. My alarm went off another 10 minutes early. Today, 5:40. I hit snooze once. That means actually out of bed, 5:50. All this week, since Monday, I've been getting up 10 minutes early in preparation of helping my body to adapt to the absolute worst thing you can do to it. Wake up early. Oh, my God. So that's the only thing I got to wrap my mind around. That is the only real challenge in all of this. That is waking up early. And I'm pretty confident it'll be sometime in the 4 o'clock hour, which actually for morning drive, that's sleeping in. Okay? Most psychos get up at like 3. Maureen says, are you going to bed earlier too, Eric? You need your beauty sleep. Yes, I know that. You're right. I mean, in order to stay this handsome and be this fresh-faced and adorable, you don't want to be, throwing out the 5-hour sleep time. You want 8+. Now, for the past 5 years, the way I've been able to turn back the hands of time and make myself look like I'm 26 years old is by going to bed at about 8:15 and getting up at like 7:20. I'm so not kidding. It's been a 5-year vacation doing this show. It has been the most joyful, no stress time of my entire life. I've worn nothing but sweatpants and hoodies and T-shirts for 5 years and gotten 10, 11, 12 hours of sleep every night. What the hell? And on the weekend, it's like 15 hours of sleep. I love sleeping. I used to say to my brother Jim, I go, if being dead is anything like sleeping, I can't wait to die. I love to sleep. So awesome. So you're right. Now, if I go to bed at 8-ish, wake up at 4-ish, you're still looking at about 8 hours. But that's, really waking up early. I don't know. Ryan says, I'm going to miss participating in this live show. It's been a staple of my morning, but look forward to listening to the new show as well. Yeah. So, this big meeting goes on today about boring technical arrangements for this show. Amanda says, I'm going to miss it too. No more Amanda show. Now, the way this is going to work is the radio show ends, and then I start doing the podcast. I'll be completely prepped for it because I'll have time to do it between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And a lot of it will be a continuation of what I talked about on the radio show. But it'll start at 10. All right. Kenny writes, what you do? Amanda says she has to work then. Yeah, I don't know if there's a workaround maybe for you to get the show while you're working. Now, this is just for the live audience. And truth be told, just a very, very small fraction of people actually get the show live. I see every day the usual customers. Some are silent. Some are not. But honestly, there are only like 40, sometimes 50 of you. Most people consume the podcast via the pre-recorded, uploaded audio podcast. So there's that. Amanda writes, they hate you. They hate me. I need some specifics about this. I think we need to call the world famous Amanda, who I guess is wrestling with the idea of, she's so bursting with energy that she wants to start a podcast right now. She even posts on Facebook, attention folks, what should I do? Should I do a podcast?
Hello.
Is this Amanda? First of all, what's going on in your thoughts about a podcast?
Well, it's not going to be every day. I thought about every week, but I don't even know if I can do that much. So it might just be 2 times a month or something. But my thought was, because I watch so much shit, I could just talk about that. Like, what am I watching this week? What documentary did I see? What podcast am I listening to?
I like
What's funny about that?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So start.
And then intertwine things about my past because, all my stories are fucking hilarious. So
Gotcha. I love the confidence. So you can always start, even if you did it once a month, you can always increase. And then, I guess you can always decrease too if it's just not right for you,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
my cousin this is like just stupid, but my cousin said that he tried it and then he didn't find an audience. And I said to him, I go, what did you talk about? He goes, entrepreneurship. I said, well, there's your fucking problem.
Yeah, he had to talk about boring shit. It's a podcast.
Yeah, he can talk about boring shit.
Entrepreneurship. What? And you said this is your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, what a boring asshole he is.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you said that the at your work, they hate EZ. What happened? Was I on and they just got disgusted?
No, I just talk about you and the stupid shit that you say about me all the time, and they think it's mean when I know it's a joke.
Oh, because they don't hear the context.
Correct.
Oh, so they're like, he shouldn't be mean to you.
Right.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, why? do you walk around and say, hey, guess what? He said this about me. How does it even come up? I don't understand.
Well, I'll talk about my morning when I come in the morning and just tell them if there's funny shit that I thought was funny happened. And...
Oh, no, that means they hate you. They don't hate me.
You say so.
All right. Enjoy your day today.
Well, I was going to answer Corey because he was like, well, you can wear earbuds. I can't. I'm like in the receptionist chair up front in the office, the office manager. So I can't have earbuds in. I got to.
No, you can't have that. Yep. No. Probably best. You'll have to listen to the audio podcast or watch the Twitch stream later on demand.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
There you go. Amanda. Okay. Maureen says she's probably crying when she talks about it. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know if you heard the story about Trump sneakers. They cost $399. I think there's a clip of him showing them at like SneakerCon, which I didn't know was a thing till Christian Blatt told me. There's an event somewhere called SneakerCon.
Every leap forward starts with asking, can we? Can we use genetics to fight cancer? Robots to save a heart from miles away.
And
biology.
There's like an American flag
and he's Donald Trump apparently
on the top portion of the shoe. They look ridiculous. They just look so stupid.
He is coming up with some creative ways to do so. One day after finding out he was on the hook for more than $350 million, the former president unveiled a new Trump-themed product to a less than receptive crowd.
That's the real deal. That's the real deal. I just want to thank you very much for being here. It's an honor.
Okay, they're jeering him. He's getting some cheers, but he's getting a lot of jeers too.
Sneakerheads. You're sneakerheads, right? Wow. A lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
First of all, let's note, that's the first time Trump has faced a hostile audience in a long time. And it was clear he didn't quite know what to do with those boos.
I'm a little disappointed you're not wearing.
I thought he did okay. I mean, he didn't. He just kind of kept a straight face.
John. Well, I was sort of hoping you'd crack him out.
There's a reason why the
Day.
camera is only from the waist up here. No footwear reveals.
All right. I like these sneakers. And look, he sold all of them. He sold 1,000 pair for $399. So that means what? $390,000. $399,000. Is that what that means? Yeah. He made $399,000. No. Wait a minute. So you go 1,000 times $399, right? Yeah. I can't do math. $399,000. Okay. I would love those sneakers. I would wear Trump sneakers if I had a pair of. I wouldn't pay $399 for a pair of sneakers. But I think he's really limiting himself by 1,000 pair of Trump sneakers. In fact, it has been way too long since we talked to Trump. Which, by the way, I have to reach out to Trump to ask him if he wants to be on the Eric Zane show, radio show, which does have a name, but I'm not revealing it yet. Actually, the name of the show was suggested to me, and I don't care what the show is named. I don't care. And someone said something, and I went, "Yeah, it sounds great." Don't care. Been way too long since we got the former president on here, and we want to discuss the sneakers. Hello?
Good morning. This is America's favorite president, Donald Trump.
This isn't your machine, is it? Is this a person?
Of course it's a person. Who is this?
This is EZ. This is Eric Zane. How are you, sir?
Big Fraud Zane, I'm doing pretty well. I don't know if you heard about this, but we've got 3 hours and 30 minutes on the Trump sneaker. You can get wonderful, wonderful deals at GetTrumpSneakers.com. It's probably, well, they say it's maybe the best sneaker ever made.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. Now on the website, it says it's sold out. Did you know that?
Well, get this. The Never Surrender high top sneaker is totally sold out. We sold them out so fast, so rapidly. I did this sneaker con with all the wonderful sneaker heads. They were out there. They bought them up. You wouldn't believe how they bought them up. But we've got other sneakers. We've got the Red Wave, $199. It's a great deal. We've got the President of the United States 45 sneaker, which is probably actually, I might golf with it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good looking shoe.
We've also got the... what's that, Big Fraud?
I was going to say, it's a good-looking shoe there, Mr. President.
I think it's a great golf sneaker if you think about it. And, of course, we've got the wonderful other trinkets and things. This is not all that different from what you do. My people said that you've got a bit of a tchotchke store yourself.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could combine forces on this and sell great things. I don't know.
I like how on Trump Victory 47 cologne, your head is the top of the bottle.
Well, I think people could use that maybe for nefarious purposes. I think, maybe women would like that for,
wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess, you know what? That's probably already happened. Probably.
I would certainly hope so. I mean, you could shove just about anything up a pussy if you think about it.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Okay, and then you've got the perfume for the ladies and the keychain.
You should get one for the queen of the underworld. I think she would probably like some of this perfume. I think it could maybe make her smell a little bit better.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Careful there, sir. She might not like that. She might think that you're insulting her, It says...
Well, I mean, I don't know. I with a name like that, I mean, you got to get a perfume. I must be so honest about that.
Okay, fair enough. But this is all to, I guess, for the legal fund. You owe like hundreds, like almost, just under $400 million.
$400 million. $400 million, Big Fraud. This is the biggest witch hunt in the history of our great nation. I think... This is maybe the worst thing that's ever happened. In fact, it's only enraged me more to maybe consider, once, of course, I'm going to win the presidency, maybe suspending the Constitution. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of laws? I mean, America is totally disgraced. I mean, such a fraudulent trial. Crooked AG, terrible judge. You wouldn't have believed this judge. Terrible judge. I mean, I built the goddamn New York skyline, Big Fraud. I built the New York skyline. Right.
Probably the best skyline in the world. And they're telling me that I somehow did not quote the right prices for my buildings and such. This is terrible.
Sir, I read a stat that I guess every day that you don't pay the just under $400 million, another $87,000 in interest is added to that. Are you ever going to pay this money, or is this just like maybe wait till you get elected, when and if you get elected, and then somehow, I don't know, pull a fast one on the people who are supposed to? I don't even know who won that money. I don't even know what's going on with that.
Well, that's the problem, Big Fraud. I don't either. And that's why this whole thing is so crooked. It's so crooked. It's just a witch hunt by the lousy Democrats and the Tricky Nikki, I'm calling her now. I think she's very tricky. And the truth is, you look at this witch hunt, it's terrible. It's terrible what they've done. I mean, we all know Mar-a-Lago is worth so much money. Listen, I'll cough up this money. That's no problem. I've always said you have to pay your bills. Like NATO, if they don't pay their bills, they're not going to be protected by the United States.
Yeah,
I've stood behind this before. You've got to pay your bills.
I saw that. You said that something about who cares if they don't pay, then they just get attacked or something like that. You're like encouraging Putin to attack them.
Well, I mean, Vladimir's a good guy. I think he's a good guy, actually. I think he understands how to run a country. And I think Tucker Carlson just did a great Great story, great journalism, probably the best journalism, actually. He went into Russia and he bought groceries and such.
Oh,
and it's so much cheaper and more affordable there. You wouldn't believe Vladimir Putin's country and how great it is.
We have an audience member in the chat, Tyler, who writes, Mr. President, you need to double down and come out with a, quote, Trump dildo, your head as the tip of it, and an eagle as the little vibrator piece that sticks out. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, that's a tremendous idea. Obviously, Tyler is one of our great patriots. I think that could sell really well. I think that could really help with the $400 million that I owe. But the truth is, that was already an idea. I mean, he didn't come up with it. I mean, I've got the best people coming up with ideas like that, of course.
Yes.
I mean, I don't need some puny Zane show person to come up with an idea. It's a great idea. I think we're looking at it, but it's kind of a whole sex industry. You have to have a certain different set of protocols to sell those things.
Another suggestion, it should actually be a mold of your actual crank, sir.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Melania might get a little upset if other people are enjoying the Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the thing is, Russia. Everyone's afraid of them right now, but I wouldn't be so afraid.
No,
I wouldn't be so afraid.
Okay.
No.
Well, how come? I don't understand.
Well, I think they're taking care of things. Ukraine, they're cleaning that up. I think they're cleaning up that whole thing over there. They're gonna do so well.
Sir,
you're gonna see.
It sounds to me like you're siding with Russia. You're saying they're going to clean up Ukraine. It sounds to me like you could become kind of like a dictator, which is what we've talked about before.
Well, I don't know. After this whole New York fake news witch hunt, I don't even know if the Constitution is being used anymore in this country. I think we have to suspend it. We have to look at it. I think we're going to look at it. I'm probably going to look at it better than anyone has. You have to remember that I'm the most favorite and one of the most voted for presidents in American history. 75 million people voted for me in our last election. So I think they trust me. They trust me to clean the swamp. They trust me to clean up the country.
Sir,
of course, we're going to lock up the borders. We're going to lock them so good. We're going to kill so many people. You're going to see. It's going to be great.
Oh my God, sir! Finally, I'm getting set.
Dirty Mexicans, big fraud. Dirty Mexicans. You got to clean up the trash.
My God, you cannot say that. What a horrible thing to say, sir.
I totally can say it, big fraud. It's a free country for now.
I didn't say you couldn't say it. I said it's a horrible thing to say. You're a horrible human being. How can you possibly say that about our beloved Mexican neighbors?
Well, I should preface, there are certain Mexicans and Hispanics that are very good. I think you've got one on your show that does heating and cooling or something.
No,
but
they're all fine.
There are legal ones. They're great. But these ones coming across the border, they're crooked. They're drug dealers.
That's ridiculous.
They're terrible. They're raping people, big fraud.
They're not. They're not. Sir, let me ask you this. I've got a radio show that's going to start very soon. Would you be willing to join us on the radio, part of increasing your audience on your network? First, you've got the world famous Eric Zane Show podcast, but then a radio show too, sir. Would you be interested in chatting on the radio?
Oh, we would be very interested in that. In fact, are you going back to the free beer and what's it wings show?
It's free beer and hot wings, sir. No, actually, not at all. It's not that. I can't say
That's
much
a shame
more.
Because they've got this little girl that's on there, this little tiny girl. I talked to her on the phone. Terrible girl, terrible. I would really like to poke fun at her some more, but what is it that I would, of course, do anything that Big Fraud's doing. I'm a big fan. So you're going to be on terrestrial radio again, Big Fraud?
Yeah, I'm adding that. I'm still doing the podcast, but I'm adding a terrestrial radio show very, very soon, sir. It's been a long time.
Is this like Monday through Friday? Or are you just filling in for my big friend Huge?
No. This is a full-time gig. This is a brand new thing. It just unfolded before our eyes. Not even a week ago.
Well, this is incredible news, Big Fraud. I'm so happy for you. I know you've wanted this for a very long time. I think you're going to do great.
Yeah, absolutely. I love podcasting. It's kind of like the future, and it's saved our lives here and kept the roof over our heads, sir. But the old American elbow grease to get it done. But I like being on the radio.
Well, of course. There's a whole different culture to it. As I used to be on television, it's a very different thing. I understand, of course.
Now, I haven't said this on the podcast, but I'll say it for you right now. The audience that listens to, that will be listening, they are all red staters. You will love that audience.
Oh, this is tremendous. Our great patriots, they want to hear from me. They want to hear from me. This could be a great opportunity for you, Big Fraud.
Sir.
You could pull in big numbers. I don't know if they're still doing Nielsen's on the radio. It's a totally dead industry, but I think you could pull numbers if you bring me in.
I think you'd love it. You could sell some Trump sneakers to these folks.
That's right. I'm a big ratings guy. In fact, I was talking to Laura Ingraham on Fox News, and she's got the biggest ratings ever on Fox News. It was incredible.
Yeah.
You bring in the Trump, you bring in the ratings machine.
Well,
it's so true.
No, that's absolutely true. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to debates. Last time you did a debate, you ordered the Proud Boys to get ready to attack. Do you remember that one?
Well, I think I told them to stand by or something like that. I don't think I told anyone to attack.
Well, yeah.
That's totally false. That's totally fake news. It's open to interpretation. Everything I do is perfect, Big Fraud. Everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. Everything is totally perfect. Perfect phone calls, you name it. It's perfect. I am perfect. I have the most perfect business, by the way. And these New Yorkers, they went after my most perfect business. My children, they run this business. And now they're telling me I can't even run a business in New York. Yep. This is terrible.
Mr. President,
I'm so upset.
I know it. You sound it. Actually, you don't. You sound the same. Whether you're happy or sad, you're incredibly consistent, sir. I'll give you that.
I'm totally pissed off. These crooked, crazy Joe Biden supporters. They're terrible. Just the other day, this guy gets up on a podium. Okay, he gets up on a podium to talk about his mental fitness. And he almost nails it, but he goes back to the podium. and totally screws it up. He's talking. Nobody knows who anybody is in this world, but he starts talking about presidents from other countries that aren't who he's talking about. It's terrible.
I know.
It's a terrible look for our country.
No, you're right. He should be retired. I on that I agree with you without a doubt. But sir,
there's no way in 2000, 81 million people voted for him. There's no way. That's why we won so big in 2000. There's no way anyone would vote for that.
Sir, I hate to do this, but as you know, I sometimes have to cut you off, and I know that makes you unhappy. So hopefully that doesn't.
Well, hold on a minute now. If you're going to do this, how are we going to do this on the radio? You're just going to cut me off like this? You're such a piece of shit, Big Fraud. Zane.
Yeah,
first of all, you bring an olive branch. You say, come onto my little puny little podcast with like 10 people. And now you say, come onto my radio show. How are you going to get rid of me there? You got to go through my publicist.
Yeah,
I've always said it. You have to go through my...
Yeah, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. He'll cool down. He'll be back. He always does. Yeah, Trump on the radio. That, by the way, that's another clue I just gave you. I gave you a clue in that about the gig. Some of you might even have a really solid idea about the radio show. But I've intentionally kind of been stretching this out because the bosses at the radio station have said, look, you can't really discuss it. So I haven't, but at the same time, I want you to all wrap your mind around this. So that's why I've been presenting it to you in the way I have. When I can tell you more, I will tell you more. But this is absolutely going to happen. Corey in Maine writes, Jamie Foxx does a perfect Trump impression. So Jamie Foxx must sound like the president who we just had on. Mike says red states as in plural, syndication. No. I don't want you to think so gigantic in scope, okay? When you get down to brass tacks, this is a giant deal to me. But in all honesty, and there will be people in the radio industry like my old mates at Free Beer and Hot Wings will look at what I'm doing and probably mock me. Okay, over this, which is totally fine. But I cannot wait for this. The Dana T says, replacing Jackie. No, I can't stress this enough. This has nothing to do with Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the surrounding West Michigan area. Nothing at all. So that has come up more than once. Nope. All right. Well, I got to take a break really quick. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. First of all, I want to acknowledge our friends who are watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm about to kick you out, though. In order for you to get the rest of the show, you have to download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. Or on your laptop or desktop, go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Mike says, I can only imagine the Reddit thread on the Free Beer and Hot Wings sub when they find out you're back on. Oh, yeah. Those people do not like me. Every time it used to be that when I would get shit on there, I would give it back. And they didn't like that. So they ended up banning me so that I cannot give them any shit when people give me shit. So now I'm just a punchline and a punching bag on that thing. Kenney adds, I just had to listen to Free Beer and Hot Wings in the car. They really need to fix this outage problem. By the way, in my story that I tell when I talk about how this radio station how this morning show gig came to light, there is a small portion of the story that Free Beer and Hot Wings are featured in it. Okay? When I tell this tale. And I just can't wait to tell you this story because it was kind of like a really odd set of circumstances that it came to my attention. I just can't wait to talk about it. I just can't wait. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. But there was a question earlier about it, about the radio show. If the podcast is going to be a continuation of the radio show, then does that mean he turns into Eric Zane-Tunian going forward? No. By the way, I did a podcast the other day, and, I'm the usual, talking shit, swearing, acting like an asshole. And I had a conversation with the radio station, and I think they wanted me to say, like, that the podcast, what I do on the podcast is, they wanted to be assured that that's not going to happen on the radio. And I'm like, well, of course it's not going to happen. This is the Wild West. I can be as much of an asshole as I want and not have to worry about it. Like, for example, there are subjects that I'm probably not going to go near on the radio. Like, how when I talk shit about Republicans, I am not going to do that on the radio. In fact, on the podcast, I'm going to start labeling content that is of a nature that I wouldn't mention on the radio. Like, if I were to say something horrible about Republicans, I would set it up with, and now for something I want to talk about. Wait, how did I write it? A story that you won't hear, an opinion that you won't hear on the radio. And then I'll just say it. And that's all things that you've already heard on this show. So anything on this show that I won't say on the radio or I won't talk about. Now for something that you will not, an opinion of mine that you won't hear on the radio. Like, I'm going to be talking later on in the show about the embryo saga in Alabama. It's an unbelievable story. It just happened. Alabama hospital puts pause on IVF in wake of a ruling that says frozen embryos are children. This is a big one. So you've got, like, literally last night, this all came to fruition. There were people scheduled for in vitro fertilization procedures this morning. You know, the first step, one of the big steps, taking the embryo and putting it in mom's womb, usually more than one. Sometimes this results in multiple births. But, you know, that's been the way a lot of people have been able to make their families is through in vitro fertilization. Well, Alabama's largest hospital, because of a new Alabama Supreme Court ruling that said that frozen embryos are children under state law. So, because in the in vitro process, a lot of times they will destroy embryos. Like, let's say a family has 10 embryos made, and they do the implantation, and it works, and they have their kids, and then mom and dad go, just destroy the embryos. You could do that, but now, as of today, you cannot. So this means that the hospital is like, well, we're not doing any of these in vitros now because we can get sued. And they would. So people now are in the lurch. You know, this is a huge deal. I will talk about that here. There's no fucking way I'm going to talk about that shit on the radio. No way. No, I'm going to do, especially early on, when it comes to radio, when you're a new host in a new town, the last thing you want to do is just kick in the door and start talking about abortion rights or religion or politics. No, fuck that. You want to talk about how much you like Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World. And then you slowly get them to trust you and like you. Those are the objectives. I've done this so many times in so many towns. I know this like the back of my hand. So no, I'm not going to bust in and say, that's a fucking abortion. You know, I'm not going to, first of all, I won't swear. So that's what I mean when I say you're going to get a little bit more Eric Zaitunian on the radio. All right? I'm an announcer at that point. And a host. Less asshole, more host. Eventually, we'll kind of dip our toe in assholishness, to be sure. But you can't just go in there and cause a damn catastrophe with finicky people listening to the radio. That's just my 2 cents. At least that's how I do it. I was talking with the boss of the radio station, and person says to me, so, yeah, we want you to promote your podcast. And I go, I don't want to do that right away. Why? I go, well, because they've got enough. The audience has enough on their plate. You can't just show up. It's already a lot to process a new person that they have to get used to. And the last thing you want to do is be explaining to them about another show that they can listen to where it's me doing what I do here. I go, you can't inundate them with information. Eventually we'll, start to talk about it. But I go, when starting a radio show, what I've learned over the years is this. There are no on-off switches. Everything is a dimmer switch. And you slowly turn it on or off or whatever. Now, I told him that, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. We're on the same page. So, I don't want to just kick in the door. There's going to be complete separation between the two. And then slowly we will merge to one big entity. We've got nothing but time here. All right? Kenny says, imagine a barrage of listener impressions and how hit or miss that would be, too. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, this is all. You can't. Nick says, lame, hit him with shock and awe first day. No. Trust me, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Do I tell you how to do electrical shit, dick? No. My God. I'm already getting comments from very angry ladies. Rebecca says, it's all to try to control women. And she has mad face emojis after it. Now, let me, my knowledge base on this topic is, the one thing you don't ever want to do, if you're in the position that I'm in, is when you get a comment like Rebecca's, where she says, it's all to try to control women. It's my job to go, I know! That's fucked! I've said this many times before. I am not in the business of telling women what to do with their bodies. Okay? No way, no how. If a woman wants to do something that, well, I mean, if she wants to have an abortion, or if she wants to have a baby through IVF, or she wants to make a bunch of embryos and then throw them in the garbage, I'm in my lane. All right? I'm at 10 and 2 looking forward. And next to me, there's embryos flying by, and then in the other lane, and then in the HOV lane, there's all sorts of babies getting aborted. My eyes are forward. And then mom is there too. She's like, I want an abortion. I'm driving. I'm not concerned with that. I am not going to tell anybody how to make their babies or not make their babies. I even went so far as to say, if anybody wants to murder their baby, I am not getting in the way of that. And if somebody says to me, EZ, what do you mean murder a baby? Look, if you're going to go ahead and have your opinion and your rights on this, good. But I think that's the worst thing ever, okay? That sounds like the most horrible thing that has ever existed. That's not for me. But that's just my opinion. And my opinion doesn't matter. I support your right to murder your babies. In a topic that I like to call a story that EZ won't talk about on the radio. That's why the podcast has its audience. Because I'm not afraid to say that I support women to murder babies. Kenney says IVF helps so many people have children without a doubt. Rebecca says some women need abortions to save their lives. Now, all kidding aside in my jokes, because I mean, at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to tell you that these are jokes. That's absolutely true. Brandis writes, here we go again. Corey says, no brain waves, then it's not a person, it's not alive. I don't know. Sounds like you know more about this than I do. Nick asks, will the radio show get posted in podcast form? I don't know. Maybe. Donko says, I'm growing a new garden of listeners. Corey says, asterisk, until you get fired. Aram says, I hope Eric ramps records on this new show. I don't know if that's their thing. Some radio stations are very finicky about that. I may have read this one. Mike writes, that's fucked up. I wouldn't be here without IVF. Kenney has an update on the phone outage thing. New York Times, 3 minutes ago. AT&T said in a statement Thursday that some of its customers were experiencing wireless service interruptions. We are working urgently to restore service to them. The statement said, without giving an estimate of when service would be back, we encourage the use of Wi-Fi calling until service is restored. Now, this is a bad deal. Amanda says, I don't know about that, Eric. Trump's got a pretty bad potty mouth when it comes to getting Trump on the radio. Yeah, I know. That's something we got to work on. Okay, look, I have not yet even kicked the audience out from Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you so much, though. I do need to remind you, though, that if you want the audio version of this podcast, it's available wherever you download shows. Please subscribe, rate, and review if you can. Send me an email on the Shoreliner Striping inbox. Thank you to Shoreliner Striping. It is eric@ericzaneshow.com. And then the Patreon, where tonight we've got another Big Fraud Thursday. You can check it out for free with a 7-day free trial. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. 7 days free for you. You do have to put in a payment form, but you can cancel it like immediately after. I don't care. I just want you to try it. You still get the 7 days. Are you hearing what I'm saying? If everybody did this, there's a lot of you who will love it. So I want you to try it out so you can check that show out tonight, the live stream, or the audio after. If you're listening to this podcast, either live or the audio podcast later, do this. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can't miss it. I have it posted everywhere. Get your 7 days free, and 1 second later, cancel it. You still get the 7 days. If you like it, you then can sign up. Now, if you don't cancel it, 1 second after 7 days, I'm charging you. When you do the 7 days, do it at $10 a month so you can watch the videos and be part of the live streams. Everyone in the sound of my voice needs to try that. I haven't had that freedom of the 7 days free, that opportunity for you during the entirety of Patreon. That's only about a year old. So try it out. All right, I'm saying goodbye to those folks now. For the rest of you, Twitch and Facebook brought to you by my friends at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Follow me on those platforms as well as my YouTube channel. Ben Glaze is here. He writes, the video gets you boobies. Well, it did once. By the way, I had some pervert reach out to me and says, hey, do you still have the original footage of Ashley showing her boobies? Because I edited her boobies out. And I said, yes. And he goes, can I see them? And I said, no, you sick fuck. What the fuck is wrong with you? It was like seeing my daughter's boobs. That's what that was. People have asked about Ashley, where she is. She just started a new job, another big girl job. So she's like starting that out, and that's occupying a lot of her time. Amanda says, why was Dean reaching out to you? Exactly. Chris says, holy shit, that's a good one, Amanda. No, you see, no, he didn't, because Boring Dean did not reach out. That wasn't him, because Ashley's like 30 years too old. All right. As this show is now unbelievably 1 hour and 2 minutes old, I still can't believe how quickly the time flies on this show. It's important to mention that my friends at the Grand Rapids Gold want you to come see them play basketball, for God's sake. Oh, that is not right. Okay, I take it back. I am so discombobulated here. That is the wrong copy that I need right now. God damn it. Thank you to the folks who just purchased on the Vouch store. Somebody bought the Camp Craft cocktails. That's difficult for me to say, apparently. and the yak sticks. I think it might have been Rebecca. I'm not sure. Somebody bought those products on the Vouch store. Go to vouch.store/Eric Zane and check out my products. Vouch.store/Eric Zane. Pet supplies, the toothbrush, the Camp Craft cocktails, not to mention the impact massager thingy. Makes a great gift. All at my Vouch store. Vouch merges creators with small business. Impact Power Sports in Rockford, Michigan, along 14 Mile Road. Thank you to them. They sponsor the studio. Impact Power Sports, MI.com is their website. Check out their fine selection. Of amazing ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, 4 wheels, 3 wheels, 2 wheels, electric bikes, Yamaha golf carts, an unbelievable service department, and a popcorn machine. All under one roof. Go check out the selection of fine equipment that you can have a lot of fun on during the spring, summer, and fall right here in the beautiful, great state of Michigan. Thank you so much to our friends at Impact Power Sports. Online at impactpowersports.com. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. ImpactPowersportsMI.com. Joe Martinez is here. A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. Joe and Maria, they got to spin the Huntington horn to start the hockey game. It's like a tradition where there's this big horn that goes, it's like gigantic. They hold a microphone up to it. And he was spinning it, and his wife's supposed to help him, but he started going too hard with it. And she's like, hey, you're not even giving me a chance to spin it. And he's like, ay, shut up, woman. And so he got the crowd in a frenzy, did Joe. The white people didn't like it that the Mexicans were leading the crowd, but what the hell. 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. They're sponsors of the Griffins and your old pal Easy. I'll tell you what, Joe Martinez has come a long way. He's got a bunch of new vehicles that his employees smash up. He markets on this show. He markets with the Griffins. He markets with Wood TV. He is happening. It's because of you. Thank you for supporting Joe. 616-516-8579. Okay, I'm bringing in Kyle from Dumpster Divers in just a second to chat with him. But I gotta go tinkle. Why did I say Maria? It's Teresa. Your daughter's Maria. Damn it. His lovely wife, Teresa. I think I might have said Maria on the PA, too. Sorry about that. Teresa, you dumbass. Oh, my God. Okay. Stand by. Excuse me. Ryan points out about me getting Joe Martinez's lovely better half's name wrong, calling her Maria, not Teresa. Ryan writes, it happens to the best of us. McNugget the dog, etc. Oh. Yeah, my neighbor Cindy with McNugget. I walk up and I go, wait a minute. No, her name is Cindy. The dog's name is Tater Tot. Damn it. I did it again. I see her and I go, oh, Cheryl and McNugget. She goes, no, it's Cindy, and this is Tater Tot. I go, oh, my God, what an asshole. Okay. Oh, before I get to Kyle, this always makes me laugh. Patrick in South Carolina does these really bad Photoshops to promote Big Fraud Thursday. They're like for example, this is the one from last week. Big Fraud Thursday. Ben and Eric, the Ringmasters. The incredible laugh-talking man, referring to Hot Wings. I guess it's a circus. So all sorts of these little Easter eggs. The one he just put up there. Fraudulent Thursday. Who are these free beers? Spitting the truth high up in the playpen. There's Ben and myself. These stupid, just our heads thrown onto any background. The Light Rock and Classic Talk with Greg and Chris show featuring the Burn King and this picture of Free Beer where it looks like his face he's just been staring at the sun. His face is actually weeping in that photo. I'm like, I cannot believe that that's him. If it weren't for the mottled skin, the ridiculous haircut, and the jagged teeth, I wouldn't know it was him. Sleepy, forgettable Steve, it says. Derpy Kelly, who her eyes always look like that. She's always perpetually stoned, it looks like. Checked out hot wings, and the boring one old man Free Beer has a crush on. Thank you, Patrick. Very poorly done, and that's the way we like it. That is the way we like it. Thank you for that. All right. It's time to reach out to Kyle. I heard from a audience member yesterday who said, what is that dumpster company? And do you recommend them? And I'm like, son of a bitch. Well, yes. I wasn't mad at him. I was like, you see, this is why you have to advertise. See, now I'm obligated to tell him. I'm like, well, that's dumpster divers. But now, and so I said it to Kyle. I was like, this is why. Here, I'll address it with him. Unless he stands me up, but you better not. He knows I'm calling. I told him I'd be a couple minutes late. Oh, my God. Yeah, for God's sake. Text message. Call me, bitch. All right. Well, anyway, I sent it off to him. I said to the guy, yeah, dumpster divers, yes, I tried. And then I sent him the exchange. And I'm like, yeah, this is why you market. Because, it's proof that it's effective marketing. I barely say the name of your company. And yet they know about it from me. That's value. You've been getting that for fucking free. All right? And the only reason why I'm doing it is because I like you. You're fun to talk to. Aram says, maybe consider replacing the segment with a phone call to Amanda. Well, I think Amanda gets plenty of airtime on her own. She's kind of like bursting out at the seams with energy, you know? So I don't know if the world's ready for that. I think on her own with her podcast, that's a great place to start. But all right. Ryan says she doesn't need a segment. She's got the whole show, the Amanda Show. He's absolutely right. I have an update for you on a story out of not that far from here. This community is called Benton Harbor. And by the way, Joe Martinez says, I know I pay an arm and two legs. He says, just kidding. Yeah. You know what's great about the marketing? Something I'm very proud of. The money that Joe Martinez pays for his marketing hasn't increased in 5 years. You know, there's no other business in the world that has kept their prices in America that have kept their prices the same during the past 5 years. They've all gone up. because the cost of doing business has gone up. But not easy. And you might be like, well, how come your prices didn't go up? And I'm like, well, because it doesn't cost me any more to do what I'm doing. I'm selling a commodity that is in my brain. Okay? It's in my brain. The overhead is my time to do it. And besides, I want to keep it that way. It's working just fine. Why fuck it up? Can you imagine if after all this time, I suddenly said, yeah, you're going to pay more? I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Corey says Zane sucks at business. No. If anyone knew where to come in, I might, because they don't know what the other guys are paying unless they collaborate. Okay? So maybe, but at the end of the day, if I've ever needed more money, like as I was like, oh, God damn it, I just lost a sponsor. I just go get another one. There used to be a time when I would go, oh no, oh my God, there's a problem. Somebody canceled. Nowadays, I just tell myself to shut the fuck up and go back out into the street and get another sponsor. Replace the one that quit. I shrug now. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Let's go get another one. All right. I don't even know how I got onto that. I think I was talking about dumpster divers, and Joe Martinez jumped into that. And then was talking about, okay, Benton Harbor. There's a restaurant in town in Benton Harbor. I remember talking about it. Some guy comes in there. And he just had a buddy that died. And the buddy's last wish was, because the dude's super rich. And the buddy's, kicks the bucket. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, like they're at the funeral. And they say, in lieu of flowers, will you please do something kind and give a little bit of money that you would give to someone who's not expecting it? Just kind of like the old pay it forward thing. Corey writes, viewers, listeners go up, price goes up. Yeah, I know. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Corey, you worry about your audience. You give me your opinions about your audience, and I'll give you my opinions about my audience. Yeah, that's the way it needs to be. Okay, anyway, shut up. I'm trying to tell a story. So the dude wanders over to this restaurant in Benton Harbor, and he sees these these servers, and he's like, I'm going to give them the tip of a lifetime, in particular one. So he doesn't have any idea how they do it. But I guess this was a shared scenario. Okay. He gives a $10,000 tip on like a $30 tab. The server's like, what? And the owner of the restaurant even goes back and says, are you sure you want to do this? What? Like, even tries talking him out of it. The guy says, yep. Here's the story. Gives him the story about the funeral. Well, that's amazing, sir. Thank you so much. About 4 days later, and then they went and shared it with the servers. There's like 5-6 servers, and they shared it. Shared the tip. And one of the young person who got the tip initially, she goes, oh, well, that's great. I'm glad we're sharing it. And that's going to help me pay off a student loan. Great story. 5 days later, the word comes out that the restaurant fired the chick who got the tip. And right away, ears are perking up on this deal. Kyle writes, LOL, I'm sorry, I'm fucking stuck on the phone. LOL, fucking A. No worries. So she's out. Just a handful of days she got fired. What happened? The restaurant says, unrelated to the tip. This has nothing to do with the tip. Well, now the chick spoke on Facebook, and it apparently does have something to do with the tip. And that is shaking the tree now. There's talk about lawsuits and all this other nonsense. And so the story is now going viral that why the Benton Harbor server who got $10,000 tip says she was fired. And there's a lot of buzz about it right now. What in the world's going on here? So our pals over at Channel 8, they got on the story because they saw, it's like they knew it was coming because they followed the chick on Facebook. And then she finally started a chit-chat about it. Here you go. This is a whole no good deed goes unpunished thing because the poor guy who gave the tip, he's like, God damn it.
On the Benton Harbor area waitress who was fired 8 days after she and her staff were tipped $10,000 from a generous customer.
For the first time, we're hearing her side of the story through her attorney.
Uh-oh.
Spoke with News 8's David Horak, who joins us live from our Kalamazoo studio tonight. David.
Sue and Brian, Lindsay Boyd is the waitress and mother of two.
This guy's eyes are too close together. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
Who was fired from the Mason Jar Cafe earlier this month. She hired Jennifer McManus to be her attorney after the restaurant threatened to sue her for defamation.
They don't have a leg to stand on. They are
hi, mommy lawyer.
Using their
hi, lawyer rabbit
position of power to try to threaten and intimidate her. And it's a really sad thing.
The defamation allegation came up after Boyd shared her side of the story on Facebook.
I'm going to read this. I just wanted to thank those of you who have reached out over this last week regarding the gift that was received and that it, quote, couldn't have happened to a better person. That part at least humbled me greatly, and thank you. Unfortunately, as with anything having that much attention drawn to it, an immense amount of negativity also came. Drama ensued, and in an attempt to diffuse the situation and resolve any rumors, things became even worse, much worse. Because all of the drama and animosity and hurt, I was asked to take a mental health day on Sunday. Sunday night, I was texted at 9:40 that management felt I needed to take Monday off as well for things to settle down. I then asked if they were trying to somehow tell me in a professional way to not come back and was never answered. I texted management again on Monday stating I really don't like to play games and at this point at least deserve some answers. Nothing. I texted Tuesday morning just checking to see if I would get a response today. Finally, I got the call. I got the call that I am fired. 1 week, I'm such an amazing, hardworking employee, awesome mother. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Now I'm without a job for the first time, and then I can't see it.
The night of February 13th, the same day she was fired, 8 days after the $10,000 tip. Mason Jar Cafe ownership told us Boyd's firing was not affiliated with the tip, yet could not further specify why due to labor loss. But according to McManus, an unnamed coworker told Boyd that staff members working in the back and those on different shifts were upset that the tip was not shared with them. Boyd went to management and ownership about these concerns, but refused to share the name of the coworker when asked.
Lindsay
Okay. So Lindsay is like, hey, so we all got to share the tip, but the cooks in the back, they want in on that too. Now, it doesn't say whether or not she, and they're like, well, who told you that? Who wants a piece of the action? I'm not going to tell you.
Understandably.
This lawyer is so goddamn hot. Holy shit.
Anticipated that sharing that person's name could just create a bigger issue. And so she was really caught in a tough position. She either shared the person's name, which could create a bigger issue. She refused to share the person's name, which ultimately, it seems, is what led to her termination. In the meantime, all she was trying to do was A, share the tip as the customer requested, and B, diffuse the situation so everyone could just get back to work.
About a half hour after the Facebook post went online and started to go viral, McManus said a manager called the waitress, recommending her to take it down. An excerpt from that phone call had the manager telling Boyd that the owners actually have every right now to sue her and her entire estate for defamation. When Boyd answered with, "Good luck, I ain't got much," the manager said, "Yeah, but they'll take everything you've got."
She's not responsible for the public.
Oh, they're bullying her now.
Perception. She's responsible for ensuring that the words that she speaks are truthful, which she did. And if the public chooses to perceive it differently, she has no responsibility for that.
News 8 asked to interview Boyd on camera, but we were denied that chance. Yet McManus forwarded a message her client wants everyone to know.
One thing I want made clear is how I didn't want any of this. And more than anything, I want others to know that as humbling as all of the support has been, that I just truly don't want others reacting to my situation with more hate, anger, or animosity.
I don't know why anybody would be mad at Boyd. What, she didn't do anything.
Solves nothing, and there are still innocent, hardworking people in that building who will be the ones suffering, and I don't want that.
Mason Jar's owners told us earlier this month that they did not make the decision lightly and that firing an employee was something we always try to avoid at all costs, and that in this case it was purely a business decision, end quote. McManus says Boyd is still unemployed and looking for work with a schedule similar to her last job given her 2 kids. She added that they will not pursue legal action on their end.
Wow.
In our Kalamazoo studio, David Horak, News 8.
Okay, so Boyd only has the lawyer to speak on her behalf because it appears by that phone call that there's like an intimidation thing going on. Yeah, they'll sue you for defamation. Defamation. Well, she's got to get a lawyer to defend herself. And boy, is that lawyer hot. Tyler says, this is the dumbest story ever. I disagree. I think this is a wonderful story. I mean, in terms of drama, which is all I'm looking for. The restaurant looks like a big fat pile of dog shit, in my opinion. I mean, let's review here. According to Boyd, tip comes in, it's shared with the front of the restaurant. Back of the restaurant says, hey, we'd like a little bit of that too. Boyd goes to manager and says, hey, the back wants some too. Who told you that? Well, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't want to get them in trouble. She sensed it wasn't going to work out in a good way for some reason, which is weird that they would even, I mean, for something that big, you definitely would share it. You should share it because everybody's in on it. That's money that fell out of the sky. Share it with them. Rebecca says, do the cooks get tips too? No, typically at a restaurant, they don't. So the argument could be made for that. There's no question. But whether or not, but that's irrelevant because the fact of the matter is they were like, tell us who told you, who suggested that to you or said they want. Well, no. So then they fired her because she wouldn't tell them. That's according to what Boyd said. And I don't know about you, but I believe her. Okay? And then the fact that they reached out to her and said, yeah, we want you to take it down. And she's like standing. I would have caved. I'm such a pussy. If they said, take it down, I would have said, okay. I know at Bosco's, we don't get tips. We do the share. We actually do the share thing there. I don't know. Maybe they didn't do that at Mason Jar Cafe, but I know at Bosco's, at the end of the night, if there's 2 servers, they total up all the tips, and it's 50-50 because everybody helps each other. If food comes out for one table and it's another, you know, how sometimes another server brings out the food. What are those deals? It's easier that way. Tyler thinks I'm mad at him. Tyler Akers, I'm not mad at you. He says, well, it is a good drama story. Just the people are dumb. Sorry, Easy. It's a good story for you to be telling. Oh, come on. No, don't worry about it. I'm not mad at you. Tyler writes, Tyler, the joke writer, Tyler the joke man, kind of like Jackie the joke man. Tyler the joke man writes, yeah, that reporter looks like a fetal alcohol baby. Eyes oddly spaced apart and very derpy looking. I don't know if I read this one. Amanda says they might as well file for bankruptcy now. Nobody's going to go to that restaurant anymore. Part of me wants to blow in a call to the Mason Jar Cafe. All right, I will. Let's see. Mason Jar Cafe. I don't know their hours, though. They're open. Oh, yes. Is there a manager there? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Hello? Oh, I think I got hung up on. I did get hung up on. Hey, sorry, I think I disconnected you. This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. Hello.
This is Mason Jar Cafe. How may I help you?
Hey, ma'am, this is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. I was trying to reach a manager about the story about the big tip.
We don't have a manager right now at this moment.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to interrupt things. I know it's pretty busy right now. What are the specials today at Mason Jar?
Right now the specials are, we have the steak and eggs, biscuits and gravy, mushroom scramble, big pig grilled cheese, barbecue ribs, and the feta omelet.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Is anybody talking about the story that's just blowing up around the world?
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Did you get the tip shared with you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
You can call later when our manager is here.
Okay.
If you like.
Who do I ask for? Who's the person?
Tim Sweeney.
Mr. Sweeney. Okay, tell him Eric Zane said hi.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep,
there you
bye-bye.
go. See ya. There you go. It wasn't so bad, Brandis. That was a nice time. We finally got the steak and eggs going. I like how they hung up like 3 times. And then they finally said, right. Mike says, now she's going to get fired for talking to you, LOL. Amanda says, God damn it. They weren't supposed to sound busy. We need to protest, make signs, and go down there. Chris says, and the mushroom scramble. Nick adds, Tim Sweeney sounds like a joke name. Oh, God. You know, I would love for this to happen to me. I mean, if I had a restaurant and this happened to me, that would be awesome. That's something that you want. Look at my man's eyes right there, by the way. Those are spectacular. Something's going on. Not only are they just too close, but there is some cross-eyed thing going on. You know, it's kind of like this. Hello, I'm here with the news. You need that there has to be some type of surgery to like put in a spacer into that guy's head. Aram says Eric Zaitunian would be more disarming to Mr. Sweeney. Aram's really hung up on the whole Eric Zane Zaitunian thing. Chris says that TV guy, one eye is higher than the other. Yeah, I think his left actually has more elevation, that it's crooked. He's got like a jigsaw puzzle face going on. This is all terrible, by the way. All right. What drama? Thank you to the Green Medicine Shop, online at thegreenmedicineshop.com. That is a medical dispensary. Some of you that partake, and I think it's like 50% of Americans consume cannabis, which is just remarkable to me. When it comes to your cannabis, you can get it recreationally, but why do that? Why not get it at a med shop? It's cleaner. It's not as polluted with yeast and mold. They take better care, a higher standard of how it's grown, and it's made available to you minus a 10% excise tax that happens to cannabis. It's charged in the state of Michigan recreationally, not medically. And they're my sponsor. So if you partake, I am asking you to make the trip to beautiful Greenville, Michigan. Meander your way through the ultra-conservative downtown. On the north side of town, on the east side of the street, right on Main Street there. I'm assuming it's called Main Street. It looks like a Main Street. You will see Green Medicine Shop. That's where I want you to buy your cannabis. Get your stash, your 2.5 ounces, and go home. You can only buy if you have a med card. If you have a med card, you're good to go. If you don't have a med card, the way I want you to get it is by going to thegreenmedicineshop.com. Top of the page, click where it says get your med card. Click it, follow the instructions. 15 minutes later, you'll have your med card. All right, it's actually a number. That will cost $90. You're like, easy, why the hell would I do that? I'm not going to go pay $90 just to buy it at your sponsor, you dickhead. Okay. There is a special deal for EZ Show listeners. They waive the $90 by giving you a $100 store credit. So, yes, you do pay $90 out of your pocket to get the med license or the med card. Then you walk into the store and you've got a $100 credit because you got the med card through their website. So you're ahead $10. That'll pay for your gas on your trip. All right? So there you go. That's what I want you to do. Green Medicine Shop, a wonderful local mom and pop business. They've been afloat, been working hard to stay open for the past 4 years in a crowded cannabis landscape. They stand out. Those are the reasons why you need to go to Green Medicine Shop. Check out the website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 616-532-6600. Get your cars repaired at Irvine's. Okay. Early bird pickup, late bird drop off. They even have loaner cars, rental cars for free when you get your vehicle repaired so that you're not left in the lurch. 616-532-6600 for Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Talking about tag accounting. Tax day right around the corner, the deadline. There is still time for you to book an appointment with Troy Ginzer, the Tax Hobbit. This is the sponsor that is wide open to anyone in the U.S., no matter where you are listening to this show from. Reach out to the Tax Hobbit today. Tag Accounting, certified public accountant, will go to work for you. All you have to do is go to tagcpa.net for more information, or just call 616-301-9516. Tell them I sent you. It's a quick, efficient, easy way to get your taxes done. No red tape, no crunching numbers and whatnot. It's all good. Today is a big day, and I don't even think anybody's talking about this. There's a moon landing today. I'm going to get to that in a second, but unfortunately, EZ needs another break. All this chit-chat wears me out. I'll be back. AT&T. This is causing a problem, even in the EZ household. I see that Queen of the Forest, Jackie and Madison are all struggling. I am not. Everything's all systems go with me. By 8 a.m., the number had surged to the number of customers that are impacted. 911 centers are getting flooded with calls in various areas. what's interesting is people, in order to test 911, are calling 911. So you've got one person, or however, it depends on the community, manning the phones, various 911 services, part of the infrastructure set up in the U.S., and all of a sudden, in wherever USA, every asshole in the world is calling to say, hey, does this work? They don't have emergencies. They're just calling to ask if it works. State of Massachusetts. Many 911 centers in the state are getting flooded with calls from people trying to see if 911 works from their cell phone. Please do not do this. If you can successfully place a non-emergency call to another number via your cell service, then your 911 service will also work. What type of stupid idiot tests it by calling 911? This seems like such a common sense thing to do, yet, this again, people are stupid. People are so dumb. And even to just see if it works. I mean, how many people are like, well, just in case there's an emergency. Most people have never called 911. Not everybody is me. Everybody knows that I call 911 all the damn time. My God. Kenney says my phone won't even let me activate Wi-Fi calls. I knew that because you've said it about 15 times now. Did you guys know that Kenney's phone is out and that he can't make Wi-Fi calls? Of course you do. Because you know what does work on his phone? The timer. And he sets it for 1 minute. And after 1 minute, he posts that he can't make Wi-Fi calls and that he's sick of the outage. Kenney, 1 minute has passed. Please tell us that you can't make Wi-Fi calls. Kenney is now giving me the finger. Amanda says, you guys, I have to go into work. Stop making stop making these jokes. You wrote retarded. Stop making this jokes that I'm going to miss. I think I need to give up the chat right now. In between Amanda and Kenney making big time statements about I can't make a Wi-Fi call and that he doesn't like the outage. Kenney represents America. Kenney is guy calling 911 to ask them if this is the number for 911. I'm going to call Kenney right now and see if his phone works. Can you imagine if after all this, I call him and his phone works? Please, baby Jesus.
Hello?
Oh. Hello? No, this is his.
Are you there?
That's not Kenney. That's his. That's a voicemail.
I can't really hear you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ha! Gotcha. This is my voicemail. Leave me a message and I'll get back to you later. Thanks.
Tyler wrote no online gaming either. And then the other Tyler the joke man writes, okay, this is a national emergency. Kenney writes, you missed Tyler the joke man saying, quote, sir, you can't call 911 just to make sure it's working. Certainly. You see, radio audience members would not get that reference. The main thing we need to focus on here is that Kenney cannot make a Wi-Fi call. Did you guys know that? And that Kenney does not like the outage. And he can make a Wi-Fi call. Ryan writes, turn on Wi-Fi calling. Problem solved. He's going to say, no, I can't make a Wi-Fi call. My God. If you find yourself repeating something, okay, if Kenney repeats something, that's because he wants somebody to go, oh my God, you can't make a Wi-Fi call? Had we not brought this up, he'd still be writing that he can make a Wi-Fi call. How many times must you say that you can't make a Wi-Fi call before someone finally says, no one cares that you can't make a Wi-Fi call? There's nothing interesting about that. Okay, cool. Hey, that is awesome. Let's park on that. And then when I make fun of him over stuff like this, that's when he, throws himself on the ground, cancels Patreon, and then, burns the tapestry, goes running through the street, breaking EZ coffee mugs, lighting his shirts on fire, wiping his asshole with his EZ shirts, whatever else. Filing complaints with Twitch about me. I'm not saying these things even happen. I'm just, I'm riffing. They could happen. My God. Corey says, thank God there isn't a one-death mass shooting happening right now. Kenney writes, I replied to another comment. Go fuck yourself, Eric. Look, I don't want to be the one to go back to the chat and see the 8 million comments of you saying, I can't make Wi-Fi call. Oh my God. Anyway, today, this is remarkable. No one is talking about this. At 5:30 this afternoon, two amazing things will happen. One is we are landing on the moon. No one's talking about this. It's unmanned, but still, we are landing on the moon today. That hasn't happened in decades. And even bigger news, Kenney can't make a Wi-Fi call. But we're just hours away from the first moon landing in 50 years. I asked this question, though. Why haven't we kept landing on the moon? And if the answer is, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because of the advances in technology that make a moon landing something that they can explore more things now on the moon because of technology. I'm not sure why. I'm just speculating. Odysseus is a 14-foot tall lander built and operated by Houston company Intuitive Machines. They will land close to the moon's south pole, and you can watch it live. Yes, you can watch it live. I cannot wait to see this. Anybody know the significance of the name Odysseus? Odysseus. I think I know. Do any of you know the character Odysseus? I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm not looking at the chat. You all can put your own answers down, but I think that I remember from my literature class, Odysseus was a character in Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey, which I think are 2 books. And I think he was like a traveler or a sailor or some shit. And I think that's what that's from. That's as far as I know. Couldn't tell you anything else about it. Amanda says the Odyssey. Aram says Homer's book. Tyler says Gladiator. Corey says, isn't that the guy who marries his mom? No, that's Oedipus. You fuckface. Kenney says he came up with the plan to use the giant horse. I'm just going to read Kenney directly here. He came up with the plan to use the giant horse in the city of Troy. ... I can't make a Wi-Fi call.
Aspire. That's not
there's a live stream right now.
Where I thought I didn't belong.
All day,
it turned out that not only did I belong, but I tended to.
Let's take a look.
Some people will say I excelled.
This looks like something.
If you're really passionate about doing something.
Okay, this is these brainiacs talking about the whole moon landing. This is the official stream of it.
Yeah,
but
what you do,
it's a pre-produced thing going on in the live stream.
You end up finding out who does it really, really well. And because I had difficulty, because there were a lot of things I didn't know about art, but I had to think my way through it. A tragic story. The guy called me aside.
I don't want this guy to be like in charge of the space program, whatever this guy's doing.
They asked me.
He looks like he could be an extra for Grady on Sanford and Son, the musical.
Don't bring any more of those things here. So now I had.
All right, I don't think that this has anything to do with the goddamn moon landing, but this is where you watch it. We're just hours away from the first moon landing. You can tune in to the landing live here at space.com, courtesy of NASA, directly via the agency. Coverage will begin at 4 p.m. That's why we're watching that shit. They launched this thing February 15th, 6-day trip to the moon, ferrying 12 payloads, 6 of which are NASA science and technology instruments. NASA paid this private company $118 million for the ride to the moon. So it's a private entity making money. And Kenney can't make a Wi-Fi call. After sailing more than 620,000 miles, the telephone booth-sized spacecraft aced maneuvers yesterday. They put it in a tight circular orbit around the moon a day ahead of its landing. Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm not sure if it then takes off from the moon. I don't even know how the moon landing went 50 years ago. I think they had that LEM, which lowered down to the moon, and it had thrusters to get off of the moon and then dock with the Apollo, and then they came back to the U.S. Came back to the Earth. Came back to America. I oftentimes marvel at the idea that the lunar module, like from the film Apollo 13, you remember that movie with Houston, we have a problem, that whole thing? The computing power of that piece of equipment had less computing power, a lot less computing power than what's in your phone that Kenney cannot make a Wi-Fi call with. That is remarkable to me. So that's today. I'm looking forward to that. That is like some celestial excitement. Very, very cool. Aram says, I don't know what is happening right now with this video. Nothing. Just disregard that video. But that's where you would go, and I'll include it in the show notes, for you to watch the moon landing today. Starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then it's going to land at 5:30. I'm going to love that. That is a space boner to be sure. Holy cow. Okay. Amanda's leaving. Thank you, my dear. Glad you were here. I have to finish up with some amazing sponsors that I know you're all going to bang on their door when you are in need. I cannot stress enough about life insurance, okay? Protect your family for just a small amount of money a month that I know you can afford because you probably blow it on stupid shit. You can protect your family with hundreds of thousands of dollars of life insurance. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I mean, what a way to live your life, knowing that your family is protected. That's an incredible peace of mind. Like if Mrs. So-and-so is there after you kick the bucket because of an untimely passing. Or maybe you encounter a horrible illness that takes your life. That's a very real thing. No one likes to talk about it, but fuck, I'm going to talk about it. She's going to need a way to not have to worry about money. If not forever, for a significant period of time. Especially some of you young audience members in great health. You can pay so little money. All right? All you have to do is reach out to Frank Fuss, and he will help you every step of the way. Go to buyinsurancehere.com, B-U-Y, insurancehere.com. Easy as that life insurance. Since, well, before I got married, I had a policy on me that I had my parents as my beneficiary. Then I got, because my dad encouraged me to do so. And then, upon getting married, my wife was a beneficiary. You need this. Go to buyinsurancehere.com, mention EZ. We got a basketball game coming up a week from Sunday, Marvel Superhero Night, Grand Rapids Gold. Get your tickets at grandrapidsgold.com. Go see a Gold game. Tickets starting at $14. If it's a Thursday or Friday night game, you got $2 beers, $2 dogs. That's awesome. That's the way to go. Otherwise, I hate to say it, it isn't the Gold don't set the prices for beverages. The arena does. And that's how they make their money. So when you see the $16 beer, that's not the team's fault. That's the arena's fault, whether it be the Gold or the Griffins. That's why $2 beers, $2 dogs are preferred. GrandRapidsGold.com. But Sunday the 2nd of March, maybe that's the 3rd. That would be the 3rd. You're going to want to bring the kids to this game for Marvel Superhero Night. And it starts at 3 p.m. at Van Andel Arena, GrandRapidsGold.com. Another great sponsor that you can take advantage of anywhere in the U.S., the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. So no matter where you are, call Mario at 231-332-6505 to take advantage of his unbelievable red carpet service when it comes to getting your mortgage. Get pre-approved with Mario ASAP. 231-332-6505. You can get a 15-year fixed rate mortgage now for, I think, about 6%. 15-year fixed APR. Currently. Oh my God. 4.9 to 5.2. That's one source. I don't know if that's accurate. I think it's more like 6.125 to 6.8. 30 years are more like 7%. They will continue to drop. If you're in the home market, now is the time to start. So if you're in the market for a place to live, or if you cannot make a Wi-Fi call, you can go ahead and reach out to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. The number again, 231-332-6505. Your asshole of the day today. Who do you want to blame for the AT&T outage? What country are the hackers from? Reckless speculation. Russian phone hackers. Which, this is such a crazy, crazy thing right now for some people, that some people can't even make a Wi-Fi call. Russian phone hackers, your asshole of the day. Nothing has been confirmed. That is merely my speculation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. I appreciate your support. Have a good one. I'll talk to you on the Patreon. And it is a Big Fraud Thursday. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.